morning. Run talks. Good news. It's stretch day! Woo! Oh my word. Oh, I can hardly stand out. I'm falling all over the place. Just beat my best time. Getting closer and closer to that 21 minute mark. Just over for a 5k. You know, this weekend I've just come off a property seminar. I did a 3-day property seminar with a guy called Simon Zucci. Incredible training, incredible. Anyone who's interested in maybe getting into property, or maybe you never considered property and you're like, you know what, I've always been told the only way is to flip houses or to buy it, do it up, rent it out, undercut the seller, try and get as much money out of it as possible. Incredible training. But you know, I went into that training and I really want to talk to you today about the shiny object syndrome. It's something that all, I think, entrepreneurs encounter at some point in their career, in their business. We call it career, in their business. And that this idea of shiny object syndrome. They get very clear on where they want to go and the result and the outcome they want to create for themselves. But then what happens is they get distracted. And they get distracted because there's so many options available. It can be overwhelming, the amount of options available. And what this can lead to is a split focus, overwhelm, distraction, and never truly fulfilling your potential as an entrepreneur. And how this really aligns with today's topic is around focus, because the big thing about the property seminar at the weekend was that I went there thinking maybe I knew like 1 or 2 strategies to actually invest in property, 1 or 2 strategies to actually monetize property. And that's traditionally what I was taught growing up and what I heard from my friends and family. And what Simon gave us, I didn't get a count on it, but someone alluded to 39 at the time. I don't think it was that many. I think it was probably closer to about 10 to 15 different strategies. And what can happen is you get so many strategies to get to your outcome, to get to your result, that leads to you feeling unsure of whether this is the right one for you. So what happens is you fall into a state of procrastination. And many people think that you can multitask, you can juggle many things at once, and I believe that may be true for a certain period of time. But as I was speaking to one of my clients last week, he was talking about how he's got a couple of businesses and he feels like he's constantly being pulled from one to the next to the next. And you might relate to that and feeling like you're being pulled between tasks all the time. I certainly had it in my business. That's why I restructured the way I do things every day. But what inevitably happens is when you're getting distracted, when you're getting pulled towards the next shiny object, you're not focusing on the thing that you're doing right here. And when you're not focused on the thing right here, what happens is you take your foot off the gas and you start to lose momentum, a bit like a car. If you take your foot off the accelerator, it slows down and you stop losing momentum. And so this idea of focus is super important, and there's different ways I limit myself from being focused. I structure my days in a certain way. I focus on one business per day, not multiple businesses in the same day, because I've actually proven, and this is a good tip for you in terms of your focus and distraction. In a book by Jim Quick, Limitless, he talks a lot about being limitless. And one of the big things he talks about is focus. And scientists have proven that if you are focusing on a task, to focus at your peak level, you can only do it for about 20-25 minutes at a time. This is why I recommend when you read a book of some kind, or even you take regular breaks, is that after 20-25 minutes, you actually go and do something. You just take an eye break or whatever it is for a few minutes, 5 minutes I believe it is, get a drink, cup of tea or something, and then come back. But what they've proven is that when you are jumping from one task to the next, to the next, to the next, it takes around 20 minutes to actually get into a state of flow again. Now, what is a state of flow? Essentially, you are just so focused, you're so in it, you're so immersed in it. You're not having to overthink it, you're just doing it, it's just happening. It's just happening with ease, essentially. And so when we're looking at this, we've got to look at our environment. We've got to look at how much time we spend on our mobile phone. We've got to look at who's coming into the office. You've got to think, I know some of you will have kids and stuff. You've got to find a way to actually have singular focus on what you want. One of the things I do in my running is I simply focus from lamppost to lamppost to lamppost to lamppost. It gives me a singular focus. Yes, I have the overall outcome, which I want to have a stretch day. I want to beat my personal best. But all I'm really doing is focus. One thing. The idea that we can multitask is a myth. We have something called the reticular activating system. Try and focus 100% on multiple items at once. It'd be very, very challenging. Not just because you're a man or even a woman. It's just the way the human brain works. It's very difficult to focus on multiple different things at once. And so the result of that is you perform, as my client said to me last week, you're at like a C or a D rather than an A. Just an A, one task, just an A. Performing at your best, being in the state of flow, singular focus until completion. And so I think as entrepreneurs, we have to work this muscle and exercise this muscle. We could do this through meditation. You could do this through practice. Lots of different ways you can do it, but you must master it if you're going to create any level of momentum, any level of consistency, any level of success in your life and your business. So for me, until tomorrow, live on purpose, love deeply and fully. Don't forget, life's a game. Laugh every single day. See you later.